Start SimplexNumerica from your desktop. Then select in the thumbnail window the tab 3D Mesh Plot. Here you can select one or certainly more of the predefined 3D mesh charts. We are going to select, for instance, the terrain gradient thumbnail symbol. Now, with the help of the press left mouse button, we can play around with rotating and zooming the 3D chart. See how easy it is to adjust the perspective and other parameters in the 3D chart bar. Rotate the 3D chart in horizontal direction only. Switch to normal perspective. Switch to standard perspective. Switch to bird's eye perspective. Rotate the 3D chart in all directions. Now, fill on and off the wall and floor of the 3D chart. Next, change the light mode of the surface plot. Now, let's rotate again the 3D chart. Next, change the light mode of the surface plot. Now, fill on and off the wall and floor of the 3D chart. Use the circle control to change the perspective and directions of the 3D chart. Here, you can change the transparency of the surface plot. Now, let's rotate again the 3D chart. Vertices, faces, and normals are fundamental concepts in 3D computer graphics for defining and rendering objects. Vertices are the corner points in space. Faces are the surfaces, often triangles or polygons, formed by these vertices, and normals are vectors that indicate the direction of a surface, face normal, or a point, vertex normal, perpendicular to it, and determine how light is reflected to shade the object and give it a smooth appearance. Switch back to the graphics view. Next, we will use the algorithm section to calculate appropriate functions for the surface net. We will restore each time the surface as our basis. We will use the following functions from the property page. A. Restore original mesh. B. In plane upsampled mesh. C. Loop subdivided mesh. D. False barycentric subdivision. E. Adaptive remeshing. F. Smoothing interpolation. You can also use the following functions: mesh subdivision, mesh decimation, Mesh remeshing. Now, we want to change the color gradient of the surface plot. We like to display the color gradient dialog where we can change the color with the help of inbuilt color palettes. Imagine a landscape of hills and valleys. Instead of seeing the grass and dirt, imagine the landscape is drawn using only horizontal and vertical lines that cross each other. Points where lines cross represent your actual data points X, Y, and Z. This creates a see-through skeleton of the surface. The X and Y axes usually represent the two independent variables, for instance time and temperature. The Z-axis represents the dependent variable or the height of the surface, for instance a pressure or profit. The wireframes are the lines connecting the data points. This allows the audience to see the shape or topology of the data, peaks, troughs, and saddles. Because it is a wireframe, it is transparent. This is useful if you need to plot two different surfaces on top of each other and want to see the bottom one through the top one. It communicates that you are analyzing a relationship between three variables, not just two. It is excellent for showing gradients, sudden spikes, or saddle points, where data goes up in one direction but down in another. While 3D plots look impressive, they can be hard to read. Now we will load mesh data from disk. Select the File pull-down menu in the ribbon bar. Then go to the 3D Mesh menu underneath. And here select the menu entry Load 3D Mesh. In the following file select box you can choose different file formats. The OFF format is one of the popular file formats of GeoMView, an interactive 3D viewing program. The object format is a geometry definition file format first developed by Wavefront Technologies. The PLY format is a computer file format known as the polygon file format, or the Stanford triangle format. The STL format is a file format native to the stereolithography CAD software created by 3D Systems. The WRL format is from the Virtual Reality Markup Language, a standard file format for representing 3D interactive vector graphics. The Mesh format is another well-known 3D file format. If you need, then you can set more than one 3D chart on an evaluation page. I will show you that with our 3D chart from the beginning of this video. Then I go again to the algorithm property window and use the functions from before on the surface plots. Here, I will show you some of the predefined mesh plots in SimplexNumerica. Click on each thumbnail, use the Control key plus the left mouse button. Then the existing chart will be replaced by the new one. That's all for today. Have a nice day.